All right, today we're going to tackle a real mind-bender. It comes from one of the most important texts in Buddhism, the Diamond Sutra. It's a statement that, on the surface, seems to completely defy logic, but trust me, it holds a secret to seeing the world in a brand new way.
So here it is. The Buddha says a view of self is not a view of self, and that's why it's called a view of self. What? I mean, at first glance, that just sounds like total nonsense, right? But stick with me. This isn't some kind of trick. It's actually a doorway into a profoundly different way of thinking.
So first things first, this isn't a mistake in the text or just a confusing paradox for the sake of being confusing. Nope. The Buddha is using this very strange logic on purpose. He's trying to get us to challenge the way we label everything in our world, to really break apart our most basic assumptions.
So you can boil the whole riddle down to this simple formula. A is not A, therefore it is A. It feels impossible, I know, but every single part of this equation is crucial. So let's start by digging into that very first A, this idea of a view of self.
You see, to solve this thing, we first have to understand what the Buddha is warning us about. When he talks about a view, he's not talking about just a casual opinion. No, he's pointing to something way deeper, a fundamental trap that our minds can fall into.
In the sutra itself, he actually breaks this down into 4 specific kinds of views. A view of a self, a view of a person, a view of beings, and a view of a soul. And these aren't just random examples. They represent our deepest, most fundamental ideas about a separate, permanent me existing apart from others.
Now here's where it gets really interesting. A commentary on the sutras gives us a brilliant, modern way to think about these 4 ancient views. It lumps them all together and calls them fixed ideas or preconceptions. And this right here is the key. The real problem isn't having ideas or concepts. It's our stubborn, desperate attachment to them, as if they are the absolute final truth.
So, what exactly is a fixed idea in this sense? Well, it's a belief that's become rigid, you know? It's born from our self-centered way of looking at the world, and it basically acts like a pair of warped glasses. It's a filter that distorts everything we see, diluting us and keeping us from seeing things as they really truly are.
Okay, so now that we get what a fixed idea is, we have the key to unlock this whole riddle. And luckily for us, an ancient commentary gives us the absolute perfect analogy to make it all click.
Just imagine, you're looking into a mirror. You see a reflection of yourself, right? Now, is that reflection actually you? Well, no, of course not. It's just an image, a reflection. The commentary says that clinging to a fixed idea is like stubbornly pointing at the mirror and insisting that the reflection is the real you. Our concepts, the names we use, like the word self, they're just the reflection. They're not the actual living, breathing reality itself.
And boom, just like that, the riddle totally makes sense. Let's read it one more time with this new understanding. The Buddha is saying, the concept of self, that's the reflection, is not the true reality of self, the actual thing. And only when you get that the word isn't the thing, only then can you actually use the word, the concept, without being trapped by it. A, the concept, is not A, the reality, and that's precisely why we can call it A. Okay, so that's the logical, intellectual explanation, but to really feel the heart of this teaching, there's this beautiful Zen poem that tells the exact same story, but not with logic, with pure imagery.
The poem starts with a fisherman. His fishing line dropping deep into the water represents our constant effort, our endless striving to grab onto something. And what happens the moment we start trying? A single thought creates one tiny ripple, which instantly explodes into 10,000 more. That's our endless chain of distracting thoughts, worries, and desires.
And then we get this absolutely stunning conclusion. The fisherman fails. After all that effort, he doesn't catch a single fish. All that striving for nothing. He returns with an empty boat. But wait, the boat isn't really empty, is it? It's full of moonlight.
So what does this all mean? Well, the fish represent the fixed ideas we're so desperate to catch. Success, a certain identity, a concrete answer to our problems. By failing to catch them, by finally letting go of that desperate need to grasp something, the fisherman is suddenly able to see what was there the whole time, the vast, beautiful moonlight filling everything. He didn't get what he wanted. He got something so much greater.
And that really brings us to the final thought here. The wisdom from the Diamond Sutra and that Zen fisherman, it isn't just some ancient philosophy. It's a direct question to every single one of us. So maybe just take a moment and ask yourself,
What fish, what fixed ideas are you trying so desperately to catch in your own life? And what if you were to just let go for a second? What brilliant moonlight might you discover is already there, filling your boat?